For decades, composting advice has repeated the same rule. Turn your pile, aerate it, flip it, keep it hot. But turning comes with drawbacks. It is labor-intensive, disrupts the microbial and fungal networks, and causes nutrient loss as heat and gases escape. Experienced gardeners know this routine well, but many also notice the paradox. After all the effort, the compost produced sometimes feels lifeless compared to what undisturbed soil can generate. There is another path, one that requires less work yet produces richer soil. It is the no-turn method. This method transforms raised beds into living compost factories where worms and microbes do the heavy lifting. By avoiding disturbance, organic matter is processed in place slowly and steadily into humus of exceptional quality. The result is a raised bed that functions as a self-sustaining soil ecosystem, one that naturally recruits earthworms, builds stable fertility, and improves year after year. Let us examine why this works, how it differs from conventional composting, and how to set it up properly. The most visible effect of the no-turn method is the multiplication of earthworms. In stable, food-rich beds, cocoons hatch successfully and worm populations expand dramatically. It's really not uncommon to find dozens of worms in every trowel of soil once the system has matured. Worm castings begin to dominate the soil profile. These castings are biologically superior, containing 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and 10 times more potassium than the soil that surrounds them. They also contain beneficial microbes that suppress plant diseases and stimulate root growth. With each passing season, the worm empire grows stronger. Raised beds that once required constant amending develop a deep, humus-rich soil capable of sustaining high productivity with minimal outside inputs. The soil becomes sponge-like, holding moisture during drought and draining well in heavy rain. Roots penetrate more deeply, drawing from a larger reservoir of nutrients and water. Humus formation is the central goal of all composting, and the no-turn method produces it in abundance. Humus is stable organic matter that resists decomposition, providing long-term fertility. Unlike fresh organic inputs, humus binds nutrients in complex forms that resist leaching, feeding plants gradually. It also improves soil structure, enhancing porosity and aggregation. In turned piles, humus production is lower because decomposition is dominated by heat and rapid microbial burn-off. In no-turn systems, decomposition is gradual, mediated by worms, fungi, and bacteria working in concert. Less carbon escapes as gas, and more becomes bound into the soil as stable humus. To build a successful system, consistency and moisture are critical. Begin with a layer of carbon-rich material at the bottom, shredded leaves, cardboard, or straw. On top of this, place a layer of nitrogen-rich inputs such as vegetable scraps or green weeds. Continue layering until the bed is filled, always finishing with a carbon cover to suppress odors and retain moisture. A thin layer of soil or finished compost over the top can help inoculate the system with microbes. Once planted, additions should be modest but regular. Apply kitchen scraps or garden waste beneath a mulch layer rather than leaving them exposed. Covering ensures worms and microbes have a damp, shaded environment to thrive. Avoid overloading with high-protein waste such as meat or dairy, which can imbalance decomposition. Moisture must be maintained at a damp but not waterlogged level. If conditions are too dry, decomposition slows and worm activity diminishes. If too wet, anaerobic conditions can develop. In most climates, a mulch cover is sufficient to regulate moisture. In drier regions, occasional watering may be necessary. Patience is the gardener's ally. In the first weeks, decomposition appears slow and visible scraps may linger. But by the second or third month, the transformation becomes clear. Worm tunnels lace through the soil and castings appear on the surface. By the end of the first season, beds are dramatically more fertile. By the second and third years, they require little external amendment beyond continued layering of organic matter. Crops grown in no-turn worm beds display improved vigor, stronger disease resistance, and higher yields. Root vegetables grow straighter and fuller due to the loosened soil. Leafy greens show richer coloration, and fruiting plants sustain longer harvests. All of this is the result of a soil system that has been allowed to stabilize, mature, and self-regulate. Senior gardeners often seek methods that reduce labor without sacrificing results. The no-turn method provides exactly that. It eliminates the need for heavy compost turning, preserves soil life, and steadily improves fertility. Unlike many so-called quick-fix techniques, it builds long-term resilience into the soil. It also reflects a broader truth in gardening. Less interference often leads to better outcomes. Nature is capable of building soil when given the chance. By stepping back and providing the right inputs, gardeners can cultivate abundance with less strain and more reliability. The no-turn method is not a shortcut. It is a refinement, an approach that trusts biological processes to do what they do best. By layering organic matter directly into raised beds and avoiding disturbance, gardeners invite worms and microbes to build soil on their behalf. The result is a thriving ecosystem where fertility grows deeper each year. For those seeking lasting soil health, abundant worm populations, and humus-rich beds, this method delivers. It requires patience, but it rewards with sustainability. Raised beds become not just containers for plants but living soil engines that produce fertility endlessly. If this exploration into worm-driven soil building has provided value, subscribe to Soil and Plant Doctor for more in-depth guides. Share this resource with fellow gardeners who appreciate serious, proven methods for long-term soil health. The wisdom of the soil lies in its living communities. Let them work for you, and the rewards will be immeasurable.